So we're working at putting some straw out for the cold weather that's ahead. We've got some below zero coming in the next few days towards weekend or Monday. And so trying to make it a little more comfortable on both sides for the goats. They can have a place to cuddle in together, stay warm. So I'm going to take some straw to the chicken coop and straw their nest down and get ready to shut the extra door there. The cold breeze. But I think they'll enjoy this little warm corner together to lay in. We've got the small girls over here and the bigger ones are over here, and the rest of them are all out eating. Here comes the donkeys. We were going to try to get Pedro in and wean him, but he took off running the other way, so we'll capture him another day, or maybe a little later he'll come up here again. But he's been bugging Mama so much, he's just a nuisance. So he needs to be weaned and get used to being a guard animal. He's just harassing all the time. Maybe I'll open the gate. Looks like he's coming my way. So I wasn't able to get Pedro on this side of the fence, but I got his mama and the other donkey, so that's actually a better plan. He can stay in with the big goats and get weaned on this side. He's a little upset right now. Here he comes. He's not real happy. He wants in here too. But he's big enough to be weaned, and he'll be a good guard animal after he settles down and we do get him cut eventually. But now the mama can have a break and get rest. He's a little upset. He might be noisy for a day or two. There comes a little zebu heifer. That's Pee-wee. I would run too. He might be naughty for a while, so you better look out. Yeah. So one more project done. Straw is in for him for the night. Pedro's sorted off. Now I'm headed to the chicken coop. So I made it over to the chicken coop, and I'm going to put out some fresh straw. I threw a little bundle over there that I'll spread out under the roost, and I'll start strawing the nest down, and they'll be set for the cold spell. I'll be closing up my window over here. If I leave it open at all, it'll be just barely cracked. This door here is going to get shut. I like to leave it open during the day just for the sunlight. Daylight gives them a little vitamin D. If they don't feel like going outside, they still have the sunshine to stand in the coop. I really like the gray lavender Orpingtons. They're a nice quiet hand. They're beautiful. But all of them are beautiful. They've all got such different unique colors. But I better get this straw put in the nests so they can get busy laying eggs again today. But it's sure a lot quieter without all those roosters in here, huh, guys? Girls. Yeah. Pretty nice. I believe we've already got eggs going too. So we have the electric chicken water plugged in now. It's ready for the cold. I've used most of my straw bale back there to fill my nests So they're all fresh. More straw on the ground for them to scratch around on. And I finally got this nest straw down that's been needing straw for about 2 weeks. And a little bit of fresh straw under the roost. And what I'll do, probably maybe even tomorrow before it really freezes down, I'll probably flip that, turn that compost that's under the roost. There's not too much of it there, but I'll flip it once before it gets really cold. And that just helps come springtime, and it turns it into such a good compost. They're going to like this fresh straw. Oh, I forgot to put some under the little gal in there, but I hate to disturb her. I can steal some later, today or tomorrow. See, that's what they do. They like to scratch it out. So, that's not what you do, girl. You leave the straw there to lay your eggs. I'm thinking with this cold spell that's going to hit us in Montana, they're going to let up on laying their eggs. That's just a given. They kind of started picking up because it felt like spring. We hit 50 yesterday. And so this is going to be quite a change for them. Quite a shock. If it gets below 0 this weekend or by Monday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I believe, are pretty cold here. So I may have to redo this again then, but it's just already getting a lot colder out. And I needed to straw the nests, but I can definitely do it again a little closer to the storm. So I stopped by the old chicken coop to open the door. I thought maybe it would be a good shelter for the chickens to come in that are on the loose that I can't capture, or the ducks, but I don't like this. We had a little bit of grain left, and in that is a mouse nest with a mouse. So Cowboy's gonna have to come get rid of this, or maybe the cat will find it. This was my old coop, and I see there's still some eggs back in there that are probably ready to explode. I use this to start my baby chicks in the spring, and then this moves them from here to the bigger coop, but it gives them a little space, a little warmth. But definitely need to take care of that. So I'm glad I opened this. The cats haven't been able to get in here. So just another thing. I hate mice, scared to death of mice, but it's time to clean this coop out too. So for spring I'll be needing it. I've got a hot oven of 400 degrees, and this is the last of my chicken carcasses, and I threw a couple carrots, a couple onions, and I'm just going to go ahead and roast this for 45 minutes or so, get them good and browned, and then they'll go in the stock pot for more broth today. So here I have the carcasses of 3 of our roosters that I've roasted with a couple carrots, a couple onions, and they're going to go into the stock pot now and cover with water and simmer for hours. So Cowboy helped me pack my chicken and my chicken broth out to the root cellar, and I'm putting it below all the ham and the beans and the bean and ham soup that I've done and the ham broth. And so this next row is going to be for chicken, and wow, it's a nice job to have done. The roosters are no longer causing havoc in the chicken coop. And look at the chicken that we have. It sure settles in my jars, but there's a lot of chicken in one jar and some nice broth too besides. So one more jar to go out. But look at that meat. It's so good. And I have the last of the 3 chicken carcasses roasting right now. Well, they're roasting, but I roasted them, but they're in the stock pot now. There, we get that straight. I roasted them in the oven first, browned them, and then I've put the browned roasted chicken carcass bones into a stew kettle, covered them with water, and added some seasonings, some more garlic, and salt and pepper, and that's cooking now for the rest of the day. And I should have at least this many more jars of broth from that batch to bring out like tomorrow. If I get it canned this evening, if not, I'll can it tomorrow. But loving it. I'm hoping to fill this whole side up with meats, broths, soups. You know, it might take me all year to get it done, but that's my goal, is to get this full and then start using and keep refilling and replenishing, and try to keep it as full as possible. So one last peek. I know we were just out here the other day and I showed you everything, but here's the last peek, just in case you're just joining us on Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. This is our root cellar that we built this summer. We got extra carrots, our potatoes, our onions, our beets, our squashes, and extra canned stuff right now that was on a sale. And we've got nuts. We've got fermented food out here. Got extra eggs, refrigerator pickles, apples down in the basket, all individually wrapped. I've got a small supply of water in here. Just if we have a blizzard or a storm goes out and knocks our power out, I've still got water for coffee. I have a couple down there. I've got my extra seeds out here right now. And let's see up here. I'll look. Excuse me. This box is seeds that I've saved. I've got a bunch of spinach seeds. I've got, well, let's see, there's some cucumber there. Some of them are just extras, but here's some beans. There's radishes. No, these are green beans in here. Long ones. Thought I had some radish seeds in here. Here's some pea seeds. So these are my extras. Here's some leftover packages of seeds that I need to be going through. But this little cabinet works really great for that. And here I have my wheat grinder. I also have a couple of buckets of wheat berries that I can grind flour. So a root cellar is a really good thing to have on the homestead. And for our first year, I think it's coming along really well. I'm hoping that our garden next year produces really well so we can fill it up with squashes and more onions, more potatoes than we did this year even. My zucchini, there's still zucchini out here that looks good. Our temperature stays at 39. Now it will be interesting to see this coming week when it's below 0, how our temperature stays. We do have one vent going out, and you can't really see it, but up here it's flush with the roof, the ceiling. And the other vent comes all the way down. You can see the pipe all the way down. And there's a space at the bottom right there. If it gets too much cold air coming in, we can put that chunk of wood under there and that'll stop a lot of it. But it's going to be kind of a experiment this week, next coming week, to actually see how chilly it will get. I'm hoping it stays right here at 38 and doesn't get a whole lot colder. So, but isn't that a pretty sight? That's just in the last week that I've gotten this much done. I hope to do more beans, more chili. I just need to get the time and get with it. So, hope you enjoyed. So here we have the last 3 carcasses of the chicken boiling down, and this is going to simmer all day. And this evening I'll probably have time to go ahead and put it right into canning jars, but it'll have several hours to cook now. Well, I just came in from the root cellar. Cowboy helped me haul out all of our canning from yesterday, the chicken and the chicken broth, and I unloaded that in the video that you just got to see, and it's a little chilly still. And so I put another log on the fire and thought I'd grab a cup of coffee and just sit down and chat about the morning and how things are going. You know, we're just doing little piddly jobs that need to be done. I've got floors still to clean, but I started on my porch, threw the rugs out. You know, I'm beating the rugs on the railing, and I see Cowboy come out around the corner from the wood pile like, what the heck is going on? But I was just beating my rugs. I said, I'm just cleaning. And so he goes back to his work at getting the wood hauled in, and he filled his wheelbarrows full. Just normal life here on our homestead. And so we had a late breakfast, breakfast lunch, I guess. We had sausage and eggs on our cook stove. We played a game of crib, which I lost to Cowboy. Cowboy won this game, but look out for the next. But anyway, we got the straw out for the goats. We got straw in for the chickens in their coop and in their nests. We've got the chicken bones that were left still. I had 3 carcasses boiling for broth after I've roasted them in the oven with veggies. And no, that's really going to turn out really good. And like I said, we just hauled over the jars that I did yesterday. I marked them, took the rings off, marked them, the date, what they are, and took those over to the root cellar and started to fill that section of our root cellar. And it's going to take me, you know, most of the year to get that filled up. But my plan is to get that whole root cellar filled, that whole root cellar filled this coming year. And then I'll be able to start using off of my shelves. And as I use, I'll replace. And so my goal this year is to get that root cellar and the shelves really filled up. So anyway, this cup of coffee is tasting pretty good by this hot fire. I'm actually getting too hot by this fire because I'm so close to it. But I wanted you to see my little fire right here and to see how cozy this old wood cook stove is. It's a very old stove. And for those of you that are just joining us, I've had this stove over 36 years. My folks had picked it up in somebody's yard for $200 that they were wanting to get rid of. It's been a part of me all this time. There's only been, out of the 36 years, probably 2 or 3 years in that time that I didn't have it hooked up and running. It is our main heat, folks. This stove is our main heat. It takes a lot of getting up and stoking it and filling it because it takes so many little pieces. You can't get big chunks in there to hold a fire. So you've pretty much got to be here to keep feeding the wood to the stove and keep it hot. But it heats our whole home. In the mornings, if it's really cold and we haven't got up yet and got it going again, because it does go out over the night, we'll fill it like at 10:30, whatever, and it'll burn until it's gone out. But by morning, if it's really cold, which it probably will be kicking on this next week, it'll kick on once or twice before we actually get this going again and get the house warmed up. So it's a big blessing. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of wood cutting, splitting, hauling wood, hauling ashes, cleaning the stove, cleaning the chimney, we cook on it all winter long. So when it comes springtime and it's time to shut this off, then I'm having a hard time going back to my propane cook stove in the kitchen. I'm so used to cooking on this all winter long. It's a big part of us. It gets a little greasy, gets a little dirty, but you just take a newspaper and brush it and rub it and clean it up and wipe it down, but it does make a mess. There's wood ashes, and we try to keep up with it for the most part, but it's just really hard because you're always dropping a little bit of wood, bark or something off of a log while you're putting it in. So there's a constant pick up and sweep around the cook stove, but I would a lot sooner have that than not have a wood stove at all. So if you can at all have a wood stove, it's good to have for backup heat, even if you don't use it for your main heat. For us, it's the opposite. This is our main heat, and our propane is our backup heat. So if the power does go out, though, we've got heat. We don't have to worry about it. This is how we keep our house warm, and it's a cozy warm. I think when folks come to visit, we probably roast them out because we're so used to the wood heat. It's going, it's feeling good, but they're used to that other either electric or propane heat, and it's just a different feel. So, we try not to roast them out too much, but we're opening doors, we're opening windows, trying to help them out. And actually, we do that for us too. We'll get this thing going so hot that the rest of the house will be up in the 80s, 80 to 84, and that's too hot. It's too hot. So by then, we're opening the kitchen window or the sliding doors and getting some fresh air back in here. But a wood stove in the wintertime is the way to go, and we wouldn't be without for sure. There's days we talk about down the road maybe buying one of the Amish stoves that you can actually put bigger logs in and be able to control the heat, and it would hold the fire all through the night. And so, there might be a day come that I will just probably put this in my storage or in another room, maybe in our 1040 in the shop or outdoor kitchen, and just use it that way and put in a little more efficient one as we get older. But for now, this old girl's been with us so long, and she does a wonderful job, and she keeps us warm, she keeps us fed, she keeps us in shape by cutting wood, hauling wood. It's a good thing on the homestead. So I'm going to finish up my coffee. I'm just thankful that you stopped in today, had a cup of coffee with me. I want to thank you for joining us and for subscribing and giving us a thumbs up and all your nice comments below. I better go check my broth now and see if it's on the back burner for a low boil today. And I'm going to do some more floors. So have a great day, folks. Make the best of what you got. And I thank you again for popping in and joining us. Take care. God bless. We love you all, and we appreciate y'all. Bye-bye. Until next time.